There are a lot of powerful heroes in the Marvel Comics, but there are 10 who are so overpowered they just cannot be stopped. Number 1. Franklin Richards. When you're the son of Marvel's first family, you're destined for great things. That's the case for Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm of the Fantastic Four. When Sue was pregnant with Franklin, the unborn child was so powerful, Sue's blood cells became tainted with a strange energy that threatened the lives of both her and the child. The Fantastic Four journeyed into the negative zone to find a cure. Thanks to the cosmic radiation in his parents' blood, Franklin was born a mutant. Unlike other mutants, he started showing signs of power when he was a toddler. One time, a young Franklin even saved the Fantastic Four while battling the Frightful Four. While sitting on the sidelines, he used his psionic abilities to awaken the Thing, leading the heroes to victory. As Franklin grew older, they realized the extent of his powers. He's able to manipulate reality, making him one of the world's most powerful mutants. In fact, he's so powerful that Reed once placed Franklin in a coma, worried that he'd accidentally release enough psionic energy to destroy the entire Earth. The Fantastic Four have found themselves protecting Franklin from many villains who wanted to manipulate his powers, including Norman Osborn and Mephisto, though sometimes it's Franklin who ends up saving his parents. Franklin is so ridiculously overpowered, Reed and the Illuminati turned to him to save Earth 616 from an upcoming incursion, a move that really ticked off Reed's wife. But Franklin's a kid, someone who never got full control of his powers. The next hero learned how to control his powers at a young age, and it's a good thing he did. Number 2. Black Bolt. While Franklin Richards has a lot of complex powers that no one fully understands, Black Bolt has one, but it's a doozy. His voice is so powerful, he can destroy planets. Even a whisper can destroy cities, so when he was a child, Blackagar Boltagon was kept in a soundproof room far away from anyone he could hurt. Black Bolt is the leader of the Inhumans, a race of superpowered people who were given their special abilities after coming in contact with the Terrigen Mist. On top of having one of the single most powerful attacks in all of the Marvel Universe, Black Bolt's proven himself to be an incredible leader and a world-class strategist. Black Bolt was a member of the Illuminati, a group of the world's most forward-thinking heroes who agreed to meet on occasion after realizing the Kree-Skrull War could have been prevented if they'd shared intel. Black Bolt's powerful voice comes from his real power, his ability to harness electrons. The speech center in his brain is able to generate an unknown particle that interacts the electrons he absorbs. He wears a metallic fork on his brow, allowing him to channel these powers. That gives him superhuman strength, limited matter manipulation, telepathic immunity, and a one-off powerful punch called the Master Blow. Black Bolt might not have the world-shaping abilities of other heroes, but once he opens his mouth, anyone near him is done for. So the only way to beat him? Take away his mouth. But even Black Bolt is no match for the next hero, who's literally impossible to kill. Number 3. Wonderman. Of all the would-be heroes that were introduced as villains, Wonderman is easily the most underrated. Simon Williams was the son of a rich industrialist, Sanford Williams, who lost his riches to his competitor, Tony Stark. Simon agreed to work with Baron Zemo as a pawn to fight the Avengers. Zemo granted Simon powers via ionic energy, turning him into the ultimate weapon. And once again, Tony Stark is the focal point of another supervillain's origin story. Wonderman died for a while, was revived by Kang, then ended up flipping sides to become one of the Avengers' greatest assets. He was even a founding member of the West Coast Avengers alongside Hawkeye. Wonderman is known for his slick shades and his career as an actor, even having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But don't let that make you underestimate his power. In many ways, Wonderman is Marvel's answer to Superman. He's got superhuman strength, able to lift at least 100 tons. So strong, in fact, that he once overpowered Red Hulk in a fight. He can fly at over 700 miles per hour, along with super speed, super agility, super vision, all the basics. He's often been compared to Thor in terms of sheer size and strength. But unlike Thor, Wonderman is immortal. He never ages, he will never die. He's invulnerable to any disease, his skin can't be punctured, and he can resist massive temperature changes. At times, Wonderman's even shown the ability to emit ionic energy blasts. Wonderman cannot be stopped, but he's still not quite as powerful as the master of the mystic arts. Number 4. Doctor Strange. A brilliant neurosurgeon who turned to ancient healing after a car accident, Stephen Strange has evolved to become one of the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe. As the planet's most powerful sorcerer, Doctor Strange can do, well, just about anything. Strange can use mystic bolts for long-range attacks. Strange can summon powerful fiends, able to protect him from any attack, including the full power of a supernova. He's been able to hypnotize enemies, create illusions, and conjure objects for use in battle. He can banish people to other dimensions, teleport, and see through time and space with near universal awareness. He's even been able to travel through time with intense concentration. While he still needs to eat, drink, and sleep, he's effectively immortal. He can still die, but after winning a contest against death, he was able to defeat it and extend his lifespan indefinitely. There are 1,000 other spells Strange has in his arsenal, meaning he has 1,000 other powers. In fact, it's likely we haven't even seen the extent of Doctor Strange's full strength. During the Civil War, it was said that he could end all of the conflict by uttering a single word. Instead, he secluded himself, praying for the outcome that spilled the least amount of blood. Strange is the one heroes go to when they have an unsolvable problem, like the time Thor asked for help in repairing Mjolnir. When you have a superhero that can do anything with his mastery of magic, he's pretty unbeatable. While the next few heroes don't have quite the power range of Strange, they are literally impossible to kill. Number 5. Hulk. When Hulk was introduced back in the 60s, he was basically a buff werewolf, a scientist who turned into a monster when night fell. Oh, and he was also gray. Lots of changes in the last 6 decades. They quickly retconned Hulk to transform when he got angry, and as he gets angrier, he gets stronger. The basic premise of Hulk's power is that he's super strong. Because of that, he can withstand telepathy and about a dozen other symptoms of that massive strength. But just calling Hulk strong is selling him short. He has the capacity for limitless strength. In total proportion to his rage, that strength grows gradually toward infinity, but he hasn't yet even reached it. A quick rundown of his strongest feats of strength. He's held a collapsing planet together. He's held up a mountain range to protect the rest of the heroes. He's literally held the fabric of reality together. He tore apart MODOK's adamantium armor. He launched Fin Fang Foom to the moon. He held together an earthquake, and he once punched so hard the multiverse shook. And none of those happened at full strength. Imagine what he could do if he reached his full potential. Eventually, as Banner was in Hulk form more often, Hulk became a gifted warrior, making him the ultimate weapon. Hulk's occasionally had other personas thanks to Bruce Banner's multiple personality disorder, including the Professor and Joe Fixit. Those other personalities are usually smarter than the dull, barely able to speak full sentences Incredible Hulk, but at a sacrifice to his strength. Unfortunately, that lack of brainpower in Hulk form makes him a constant danger to everyone on the planet, which is why the Illuminati chose to chase him off into space during Planet Hulk. The one hero might not pack as hard a punch as Hulk, but at least he can control his rage. Well, sort of. Number 6. Wolverine. Wolverine was actually introduced in a Hulk comic as an antagonist to the Jolly Green Giant, about a decade after the creation of the X-Men, for which Wolverine was famous. Wolverine's life was that of a tragedy early on, bouncing from one fight to the next. His powers emerged in brutal form, claws made out of bone sticking out of his wrists and killing his father with unhinged ferocity. He became a hunter, living with wolves, but the government soon saw him as a weapon to be utilized, and he soon became a trained killer. Killing soon became all he did, and as he says, he's the best at what he does. Once he was given adamantium bones, turning his claws into unbreakable weapons, there was no match for him as a soldier. While his claws are the most notable feature of his ensemble, his true power is his incredible healing factor. All of his organs, tissues, and cells regenerate at a rate far beyond normal humans, completely proportional to the amount of damage he has. So, whether he cuts himself shaving or faces a nuclear bomb, his body will heal quickly, though that doesn't mean he doesn't feel the pain. That healing factor also means he ages slowly and is invulnerable to any poisons, making him indestructible, though he will eventually weaken and die with old age, as seen in Old Man Logan. But for now, that healing factor is so powerful, he once healed from just a drop of blood after being torn apart by Horde. Since joining the X-Men, Wolverine's arguably been Marvel's most popular character, having more comic appearances than even Spider-Man. Deadpool even once said, "Wolverine's power isn't healing, it's its popularity. Which brings us to number 7, Deadpool. Like Wolverine, Deadpool's main power is his incredible healing factor. Deadpool was also a victim of Weapon X, who granted him these powers to cure him of cancer. Before he was even granted these powers, he was a killer, joining a CIA-backed group of mercenaries. Like Wolverine, it's literally impossible to kill Deadpool. Slice him down to the smallest atom and he'll heal. But unfortunately, he's also insane. In one universe, his mind was so far gone that he convinced himself that he was a comic book character. Crazy, right? But he was the only one who knew this, so he decided to put all of the other heroes out of their misery. He tore apart the universe in the appropriately named Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. That event also proves just how powerful Deadpool really is. Deadpool slaughtered the Fantastic Four in an instant, turning the Thing to rubble and Reed into a stretched-out rubber band. Even when Sue got the jump on him and exploded his head, he just healed right back up and stabbed her in the back. He bombed the Avengers with shrunken-down tech he stole after killing Ant-Man, then killed Luke Cage by tricking him into drinking coffee with those same mini-bombs to subvert his indestructible skin. He was able to kill Thor, surviving his attacks and squishing him by making Mjolnir grow in size. Deadpool shot Spider-Man in the head, tortured the X-Men, and kept Wolverine in a constant cycle of death and regeneration. Deadpool was even able to kill Uatu, the all-seeing Watcher. But the craziest of all, he snuck out of the comic universe and slaughtered Marvel writers, who he felt had been torturing these characters for years. When Deadpool goes crazy enough, he's able to defeat anyone in the entire universe. The same can be said for the next hero when she's connected to the Phoenix Force. Number 8. Jean Grey. Jean Grey was introduced as a powerful mutant who shares Professor Xavier's telepathic abilities, while also developing telekinetic powers. She was one of his earliest students, a prized pupil as the last student enrolled in his first class. As she grew older, her abilities began to rival Xavier's. She's an Omega-level mutant, making her one of the most powerful people on Earth. On many occasions, she's been able to exhibit empathetic powers, allowing her to manipulate the feelings of others. Xavier knew from the start that she was a powerful mutant, but she had yet to show it, so he suppressed her powers, keeping her at bay. That went all fine and dandy early on, until the Phoenix emerged. During a mission into space, the X-Men's shuttle was damaged. She piloted the ship from outside, but in the meantime, she was subjected to fatal levels of radiation. She was dying, but she needed to save her friends. Jean called out to space, answered by the cosmic Phoenix Force. Jean and the Phoenix merged, and it all went well for a few years. But during the Dark Phoenix saga, the Phoenix became overwhelmed. It got a taste of evil and turned into a force of total and complete destruction. Jean became one of the most powerful entities in the universe. She, as Phoenix, even consumed a star, accidentally killing an entire solar system. As the Phoenix, Jean's abilities are even more enhanced. She can rearrange the molecular structure of matter and destroy civilizations without breaking a sweat. But Jean's most powerful strength? Her sheer force of will, strong enough to curb the Phoenix and, more than once, come back from the dead. But there's another powerful mutant whose true strength is only revealed when she becomes evil, and she's not the most powerful. Number 9. Scarlet Witch. Unlike Jean, Wanda Maximoff entered the Marvel Universe as a villain, only eventually becoming a hero. Wanda joined Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in an effort to obtain mutant supremacy, but eventually became disillusioned from his ruthlessness and joined the Avengers. Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, was originally introduced as a mutant, but after a few revelations in her life, or really just retcons, we find out that she is a human born of magical birthright. She was trained in witchcraft by Agatha Harkness, with most of her power coming from her control of chaos magic. Scarlet Witch can tap into her dark magic from other dimensions, even considered to be the nexus being of Earth 616, making her the focal point of the universe's mystical energies. After years of studying magic, she became an expert. Like Doctor Strange, she can project her spirit into astral form. She can see into the future, able to receive information about someone she's never seen before. Wanda can fly, create force fields, and turn invisible. She can even manipulate the weather. Wanda's been able to talk to the dead. Like Doctor Strange, if it's possible through magic, she can do it. Wanda has a lot of abilities, but by far her most powerful asset is her ability to manipulate reality. In the House of M series, Wanda lost her husband and her kids in a single tragedy. tragedy. The trauma she faced made her unstable, manipulated by Magneto into reshaping reality. As the X-Men and the Avengers fought to restore reality, she uttered 3 words that would change the universe: no more mutants. Almost all of the mutants across the planet lost their powers immediately, completely changing the landscape of this universe. How many other heroes can say their words are that powerful? But the most powerful hero in Marvel? Number 10. Sentry. The concept of Project Sentry began in 1947, when the Canadian and US governments joined together to replicate the super soldier serum. A decade later, a meth addict named Robert Reynolds discovered the serum while breaking into a laboratory. He drank it and was granted the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Sentry is completely immune to aging. He can regenerate from any injury and is effectively immortal. He's one of the strongest beings in the universe, even once ripping Carnage in 2. Depending on his mental state, he can even go toe-to-toe with the Hulk. Sentry's able to fly at high speeds, teleport, and absorb power. He's even got limited power-sharing abilities, able to bestow others with parts of his power. Sentry's also able to generate and control light, allowing him to turn invisible, shoot blasts of energy, and project a light that's even brighter than the sun. Beyond all of that, Roberts also proved himself to be a genius and exceptional at deduction, figuring out Spider-Man's identity soon after meeting him. Sentry was one of the earliest superheroes, though his publication history came far later. He was a role model for young heroes like Spider-Man, an ally to Reed Richards, and a friend to Hulk. Sentry has long been one of Marvel's most powerful heroes, but he continues to be one of its most underrated.